Dice Masters. I'm just going to make sure the players know to begin. They're around the corner for me. Nick, Valle, you guys can start. Okay, so Valle won the role to go first before we got the players on camera. So she's got 3 masks and a bolt. So this is a little bit of a weird spot for her. She's just going to buy a Human Torch, so she kind of starts out without ramp. So Nick has his 4 Psychic dice in his dice bag zone because we know that he's going to, only roll sidekicks so the first 2 turns anyway. Okay. Whoa, Nick can do whatever he wants with that roll. Oh, Nick buys Ring of Magnetism. I don't know what Nick is up to with trying to use Ring and what his plan is exactly. We can see that he's got formerly Weapon 10 and Polymorph, so that could totally be part of what he's going to do. Nick's team gives him a lot of options here. He's doing some of the standard stuff like Black Widow, Professor X. I'm happy that our first few games on stream have been Professor X games and not the anti-ramp games. Kind of makes it more exciting and interesting when players get to roll lots and lots of dice. Okay, so Polymorph and Ring of Magnetism. So far, Nick has only bought action dice, which would make you think he should include a Red Dragon on his team. Okay, so Nick is using a Hulk die as his tracker. That's cool. Okay, so Valle gets 4 psychics. So I think Valle's rolling 8 dice, and she's just missed all of the characters, which is a whoops. Yeah, the 2 characters are the only 2 dice she didn't roll, which is pretty unfortunate. Okay, so back to the dice tower she goes, and some more question marks this time. Good. Wilds are fantastic energy. Speaking of Mr. Fantastic Energy, even. Okay. So she's going to spend 2 to buy a Black Widow. She's going to field 2 sidekicks. She's feeling like, I've got 2 dice left in my bag. What do I want to do here? So I think she's going to spend 2 and then ramp 2. The question is, what does she spend those 2 on? I bet it's another Zarina. Yeah, so she's got 3 Zarina in the mix. She's going to be pulling out a Human Torch and a Zarina from her bag next turn, and then she's going to end up hopefully drawing at least one of the other 2 Black Widows, and she's going to try and burn Nick for a lot of damage. Nick does not have blockers. Nick can't spin anybody down yet. It seems like Nick's plan could be to try and get a Jinzo into play, and then Ring of Magnetism another character, so his Jinzo sticks, and global abilities will burn his opponent out. Let's see what he does. Interesting to note that there is no Magic Missile or Slifer Global to turn bolts into damage to character dice, so those sidekicks are actually a tempting target for Ring of Magnetism right now. Okay, so he can polymorph this turn. That is pretty exciting. He's probably debating, do I go for a more expensive polymorph, or do I go for something cheap because hey, it just gets into play, and I'll worry about something higher quality later. Okay, Ring of Magnetism onto the Psychic die. So even if you've seen cards before and you know what they do, it is a good idea to refamiliarize yourself with them as you're playing games with them. And I think that's what Valle was just doing there, glancing over to see, hey, what does the ring do? Okay, so Black Widow, Polymorph comes out. So that Black Widow is going to be really safe. Okay, so Valle, Professor X is twice. Nick attacks. Valle takes 2 because you can't spin anyone down. And then I think Nick paid a... I'm gonna go check with the players, see how Black Widow got to the KO'd area. Oh, so you on the stream probably caught it. She blocked with a sidekick, and Black Widow's a 2-1, so Black Widow was KO'd. I thought that mistakenly she should have gone to the use pile and instead went to the prep area. But the life totals reflect the reality of the situation. Ooh, so Human Torch is gonna start putting in the work here. Valle's trying to think about what she wants to do next and maybe what order. Okay, so spends one fist to off the Black Widow die to roll it down and put that out. Okay, so the sidekick's KO'd. Ring of Magnetism is in the use pile. Nick's gonna be taking a beating on this one, I think. It's if you consider these two players, I think something really interesting is going on from the dynamic of what's good, right? You've got Nick who's saying, I think that I can come up with something edgy and a little bit different. And a lot of what Valle's doing is the tried and true stuff from, the Nationals metagame. She saw that Beast was successful. She saw that Zarina was successful. She saw that Human Torch was successful, through the WKOs and Nationals. And the real weakness she identified properly is the Hulk, and she says, okay, I'm just going to bring a die to beat that. Let's go. She makes the masks super valuable by having 4 different global abilities. I think it can really keep opponents off balance. So Nick is rolling lots of dice. Lots of dice, which is the fun part about Dice Masters. Just like, also winning and getting to play your favorite characters. But, whoa, Nick is re-rolling almost all of his dice. That is tough business. Okay, so we've got a bunch of sidekicks. 3 sidekicks. 2 wilds. A mask. Ooh, so by placing Ring of Magnetism on the Human Torch, Nick has done something really interesting, which is, as Valle fields her characters and deals damage, she must do the damage to the Human Torch. One way to prevent this would be using Vibranium Shield's global ability, and Vibranium Shield is very, very underplayed. You pay a shield, you prevent damage to a character or a player for an ability. And just does not see use, because there's things like Trent from the D&D expansion, who is going to prevent 2 damage done to the player, and more often than not, people are trying to prevent damage to the player. There's also Human Paladin from D&D, who's going to reduce damage to a player to 1, so if you're nervous about the big gobby damage, it's better, and then if you're nervous about the 2 damage from Black Widow, well, you've done the same thing at that point as Vibranium Shield, but you sometimes have the big upswing. So Valle deals with that die in a really smart way. She just attacks to get rid of... Sorry, she blocks. I was off my tangent. She blocks to get rid of the Ring of Magnetism off of it. And as far as Nick is concerned, that could just be good enough. Ooh, so we're starting to try and go in the realm of Cyclops and Human Torch together. That could burn Nick down. No, so Nick is pumping it in the air because I can't see the face. There's a chance that Valle just can't afford all of yet. So she could not afford all the characters she rolled, and that is one of the trouble with having lots of character dice in your bag, is that sometimes you'll get fielding costs that you're unable to put everyone out if you're not rolling just a massive number of dice. So Nick was able to dodge the bullet on Human Torch in conjunction with Cyclops Field Leader. Okay, but Zarina still chipping away. Oh, so it's really cool. Nick is using the Red Hulk and Green Hulk, so the red is for his opponent and the green is for himself. There's a lot of interesting and even efficient ways that players have found to keep track of various information for Dice Masters. Okay, let's see what we got. We've got shield, fist, second shield, 2 sidekicks, 3 masks, Black Widow. Oh, the logo with the die on the Dice Masters Premier Event mat keeps throwing me off. I keep thinking, whose shield die is that? Okay, so let's see what we got. So Nick has missed on getting a Millennium Puzzle or a Ring of Magnetism. Over and over, players would say action dice just aren't that good. And here, Nick is making a run of it, trying to make it work. And if you think back to Matt Tucker's team from the fun game we had before, he was using the Constantine that let you roll your opponent's action dice. I think he might have metagamed our good friend Nicholas here a little hard, but that's a talk for later on in the day or the weekend. Okay, so Valle spins down her Cyclops, blocks Black Widow with 2 sidekicks. Nick selects to only KO one of the sidekicks. I think it's an interesting choice. I think it's correct here. I don't think it's always the right move to say, oh, I'm just going to get rid of one of my opponent's sidekicks. It's really fantastic to be here at Origins. I want to throw that out there for those folks watching at home, that it is a fun show, and we're getting a lot of attention by having this stream and having the spectacle of getting ready for our World Championships for our different games with WizKids. So thanks to everybody for coming out, and thanks to all of you for tuning in. So Valle, in her continued kind of roles, is really searching for something to do here, like pay for and clog up your bag with more character dice you can't use, like be unable to ramp like you want to. It really hurts that she's not been getting the wild energy. I really agree with her Black Widow buy there, and she's got 3 energy remaining. Mask, Fist, and a Bolt. So Nick uses Professor X and Mr. Fantastic at the end of her turn. Triple blocks on Cyclops Field Leader. I don't remember. I've admittedly never ever fielded a Cyclops die, so I'm drawing a blank on how much defense he's got. But I have a feeling that we're dealing. So there's 2 scenarios. There's one is Nick hopes that Valle knocks out the quote wrong number of sidekicks, and nope, she's only going to KO 1. She doesn't want Nick to have the access to re-rolling all those dice, and I don't think any of us can really blame her, because wow, this guy loves rolling dice, and so do I. Okay. Rolling them dice. Okay. Shield, Millennium Puzzle. Oh, Millennium Puzzle is so good. 3 shields, 2 fists. No, sorry, 5 shields. Yeah, there's no way he keeps all those. People are coming over to spectate because they're like, oh boy, we've got a top 8 Nationals finisher, and we've got Nick Pham, internet superstar, theory crafter. So Nick's in a tough spot. I don't want to speak too soon and jinx anything, but I think Valle banked all of the good luck from Nationals, and if she had a top 8 finish, putting the luck away, if she's making the withdrawal today, anything could happen. Or forget today, this whole weekend, anything could happen. Ooh. Okay, Nick. He's got a lot of energy. Let's see what he wants to do with it. He's only got 2 masks though, so he's just absolutely forced to break ramp here. Whoa. 9 dice, like 9 energy worth of characters. It's difficult to remember when the last time I watched someone buy 9 energy worth of characters. One of the cool things about Millennium Puzzle being in play here is that Nick is not going to have it back in circulation, but also he's got a solution to the Cyclops Human Torch combo. It is Johnny Storm. Sometimes it's tough to keep track because we saw Julie with the other Human Torch earlier today, and so I of course assume that I'm calling all of them by their wrong name at this point. Okay, into the dice tower we go, and 3 fists, a question mark, and a bolt. So every character face that Valle misses here is that much worse for her because Nick has blockers and a Millennium Puzzle. I think she was correct to not give him the chance to roll more dice last turn, but it's tough to see where this is going to go. And so, again, Valle's stuck sitting on Fist, Bolt, Wild, and there's the possibility that she spins someone down with Venom, but as Nick pointed out before, you're rarely going to get to spin down Fist characters. They are making some HeroClix announcements right now, so I hope we are still coming through clearly for all of you at home. Okay, so Millennium Puzzle eliminates Zarina. Nick has nothing in his reserve pool. He's got 4 in his prep area, so let's see if there's a way for Valle to capitalize. Not really. Okay, so from Nick's bag comes the Ring of Magnetism. Nick shakes up the bag as much as he can, and boom, the roll. That is that moment of not knowing what your opponent's going to end up having or end up missing as whichever the perspective might be. It's really the number one thing that I think characterizes the Dice Masters experience for people. That they say, wow, like, that's what it is. So, Nick is trying to make some crafty plays with Ring of Magnetism here. That, hey, Valle's going to have to target her own Cyclops, so maybe I can turn Human Torch's benefit into a cost. And I don't know. He's behind on life. He can turn it around. He's got the stuff to turn it around. But let's see if the opportunity arises or not. Okay. Valle's in the bag. Okay. Into the dice tower. Okay, so Human Torch, Zarina is a character face, 2 energies, minimum. Okay, so minimum she's able to field those characters. But just as Nick had the problem earlier, now Valle doesn't have the ability to keep up the ramp and keep chugging along. This is Nick's comeback window, but it's tough to know. It's gonna matter. So Nick just probably saved himself a damage by, he used Venom's global ability to spin down Valle's Zarina. It's really critical that you pay attention to which globals your opponent is using. As the game grows, there's just going to be more and more of them. But if you notice that on Valle's side, there's 5 globals, and then for new globals on Nick's side, you've only got 1. There's something to be. Oh, sorry, you've only got 2. I forget about Blue. It's Blue Eyes and Polymorph. Really easy to forget about globals when they're not part of your core strategy and they're not part of your team. So Nick took 2 damage and is down to 4 because of Black Widow. This is basically his turn. Like, he needs to... He needs to get this or bust, kind of. There's so many different character dice in the mix at this point for Nick. There's so many action dice. Nick's just not willing to accept what he's received here, and he just needs characters. He needs bodies to get in the way of Valle's characters. But let's face it, if her bag can't possibly be that full right now. She's got one psychic die left in her bag, and then there's another Zarina die in there. It's just easy enough for her to pull out Human Torch, or for her to pull out the Zarina and end this round for Nick. Okay. So, Jinzo. Oh, Jinzo's so big. So, did not see a ton of play at U.S. Nationals, but for the rest of the game, while Jinzo's active, which might be for the rest of the game, when Valle rolls, when Valle uses a global ability, she'll be taking 2 damage for it. That's really, really potent. It puts you on a clock of sorts. You only have a certain number of global abilities remaining before you lose the game. Oh, Cyclops accidentally got spun to his Bolt face instead of his character face. The players have corrected the issue. I would like real life tournament tip for players who are using Ring of Magnetism in the way that Nick is using Ring of Magnetism. Please remember to retrieve your Ring of Magnetism die from your opponent. As a secondary tip, because the Yu-Gi-Oh dice have the key tempo that lets you know which card goes with which die, I would recommend, if you're using multiple Ring of Magnetism dice, that you actually use the common one to buy and put on your opponent's die, just in case someone accidentally picks up your die at the end of the game. Because even if they make an effort to return it to you, you're better off losing a common die than an uncommon or a rare die. I can't see what levels that Nick's dice are on. So there's a possibility that Zarina actually does not close the door here. Okay, so attacking with... so Nick's going to spin down Jinzo. And then Nick's going to have to do some blocking here. Okay, so Nick's going to... so Nick is going to spin down Zarina. Valle's asking about targeting, and Nick can in fact still target her dice normally. So the important piece of the puzzle here is that Valle can't use Relentless to make her characters attack for the game, and Valle cannot use Distraction to pull back her Zarinas as blockers and try and get their 2 damage through again next turn. Valle's also kind of in a linchpin situation that she can't Mr. Fantastic, let's say one of Nick's sidekicks. Okay, so Wolverine KOing the Cyclops, and perhaps they KO one another, is one of the most thematic Dice Masters interactions that we've had yet. Those guys can never seem to get along. So, this is the turn for Nick that he intends to win the game here, I believe. He's got the polymorph die. Okay, so there's just enough dice at Nick's disposal here that cruising for 15 is not unreasonable. He can fill that Wolverine die and turn it into a substantial amount of damage and hope that Jinzo's ability makes Valle unable to win. But Valle can just use Distraction on Wolverine. Nick is not using the Doom Caliber Knight combo that was almost omnipresent at US and Canadian National Championships for Dice Masters. And Nick is kind of puzzling through this. I think he was hoping that he wouldn't have that exact combination, because having the action face on Polymorph might not be fantastic, but the energy from Murder Magnetism is not that fantastic either. Okay, so he still has reroll. Okay. Field the sidekick, why not? Let's... Okay, so Nick was probably trying to get a more optimal roll there. Okay, so time was just called for the regular round, though these players do in fact have an extension. Getting everything in the computer so you guys can have the card previews takes a little bit of time. Okay. So Nick just purchased another Spider-Man die. And so Valle is gonna spend for a global. She's gonna use Professor X twice, and she's gonna take 4 damage. And that could be... So she's gonna go down to 11. Oh no, I think she... I'm not sure. I think, yeah, no, she's Professor X. Nick is not sure if he wants to try and attack here, I believe. Oh no, never mind. Nick's a contemplative look had me wondering. I'm gonna correct the player's life total. Okay, so Valle is actually at 10 life, and Nick had it correct, and I wasn't paying attention to his life tracker. I was only watching Valle, so... Excuse me. Okay, so Valle fields a lethal combination of characters, and Nick is out. So there is their time extension, folks. So I've spoken to both of these players already. I'm probably gonna get Valle on quickly, and then I'm gonna make sure they get their stuff in, and hopefully pull in some new Dice Masters players for us to talk to. So we'll be back shortly.